In the headlines, grain sellers absolve selves from rising maize price. Troops rescue 40 abductees in Zamfara. Traders want resumption of Kano Guru's train service. And on the foreign scene, Kenyan demonstrators clash with police as three-day protest over tax hikes begins. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And now the news in detail. A cross-section of grain sellers in Adamawa State say they should not be blamed for rising prices of maize and other food items in the state. Residents in Numan have pointed accusing fingers at the traders for the rise in prices of grains. Adamu Imam visits Kasuwan Cross in Numan local government area of the state, where traders are sharing their experiences. Moving on, travelers at Jalingo Main Motor Park in Taraba State have decried the increase in transport fares following the recent increase in the pump price of petrol. They made this known while interacting with Trust TV. While Trust TV interacted with some passengers and drivers and also chairmen of the transport unions. Moving away from that story, the House of Representatives has resolved to summon the managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, to explain the incessant increase in the price of premium motor spirit in Nigeria. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion on matters of urgent public importance by Ikenga Ugochinyere at plenary on Wednesday. Presenting the motion, he noted that the increase in the price of PMS or petrol has led to the increase in food commodities as well as prices of services across the country. Some members who contributed to the debate on the motion suggested the suspension of the recent pump price. However, other members said the price increase was propelled by market forces as stated by the NNPCL MD. The Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, who presided over plenary, agreed that the House has no power to fix or suspend the pump price of PMS. The House adopted the motion and referred to the House Committee on Petroleum Resources when constituted to look into the circumstances leading to the increments and how best to apply palliatives to alleviate the sufferings of the Nigerian people. Moving on to security, troops of Operation Hatlerin-Daji have rescued 40 hostages at Keru, Keram, and Alkama villages in Bukuyum local government area of Zamfara State, northwest Nigeria. The feat was recorded on 17th July 2023 following an intelligence report that suspected terrorists had kidnapped unspecified numbers of persons from villages around Bukuyum local government area of Zamfara State. Troops immediately mobilized for fighting patrol and established blocking positions around the terrorist withdrawal routes at Keru, Keram, and Alkama villages. Troops, however, made contact with heavy firefight, which lasted for hours, forcing terrorists to flee and abandoned their victims. The rescued kidnapped victims, numbering 40, dispersed and have since returned or reunited with their families, while 10 of the victims were handed over to the Serikin Gwashi to connect them with their respective families. Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule on Wednesday held a closed-door meeting with the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Christopher Musa, over the influx of bandits and other criminals from Plateau State. Speaking to journalists at the Defense Headquarters, Abuja, shortly after the closed-door meeting, Sule said he deemed it fit to visit the military chief in order to be proactive before anything untoward happens in the state. According to him, apart from coming to congratulate the Major General on his appointment as defense chief, the action became imperative because of the state's proximity to the seat of power and the nation's capital, Abuja. Reacting, The CDS told newsmen that as part of being proactive, they've already mapped out strategies to tame any unwanted development in the state due to its closeness to the FCT. Still on security, troops of Operation Safe Haven, maintaining peace in Mangu local government area of Plateau State, have arrested over 1,000 cattle and sheep grazing on farmlands in the area. In a statement signed by the Media and Information Officer of the operation, Captain Oya James, the cattle were arrested in Dumunan village of Boy district in Mangu in the ongoing efforts to address the security challenges confronting the area in recent times. More than 200 people were confirmed killed in the crisis between Magaville and Fulani communities in the last 3 months. Security personnel have vowed to restore peace in the area. The military spokesperson said preliminary investigation revealed that the cattle and sheep came from Bokos and Barkinladi local government areas, and they are being detained for further action. The general officer commanding 3rd Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General A.E. Abubakar, had promised to tackle the root cause of the crisis and block anything that could lead to renewed attacks in Mangu general area. Moving to health, animal rearers in Jos, the Plateau State capital, are worried over the recent discovery of the anthrax disease case in Niger State, saying the development should be given the seriousness it deserves. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development had on Monday announced the discovery of a case of the disease in Niger State, a development that has sent shivers down the spine of animal rearers in the state. The suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has asked the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos to admit him to bail on self-recognizance pending the hearing and determination of the charge filed against him by the federal government. The bail application, which was filed by the lead counsel, Joseph Daudu, SAN, was brought pursuant to the relevant provisions of the Constitution, the Administration of Criminal Justice Act of 2015, and the inherent powers of the court. It was not yet certain when Emefiele would be arraigned on the 2 counts of illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition, but there are indications that it would be sometime during the annual vacation of the court, which commences on Monday, July 24, 2023. The suspended CBN governor's case has been assigned to Justice Nicholas Owebo, who is one of the 2 vacation judges for the court. The other is Justice Akintayo Aluko. Referring to his reputation, past credible record, as well as his status as former CBN governor, the defendant said he is not a flight risk and will not jump bail if it is granted. The suspended CBN governor also said that granting him bail would afford him adequate time and facilities to prepare his defense to the charge. The federal government, in the charge sheet, accused the suspended CBN governor of possessing a single-barrel shotgun, a Joseph Magnum 8371, without a license, charges the ex-CBN governor denies. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Traders want resumption of Kano Nguru train service. Stay with us.
That's right. You too could be one of the 20 Zenith Bank customers that will win 150,000 Naira every 2 weeks from June 1st, 2023 until May 31st, 2024 in the Zenith Better Life Promo 3. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Live the better life with Zenith Bank.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Trust News Update. A recap of our top stories. We told you that grain sellers absolve selves from rising maize price. We also told you that troops rescue 40 abductees in Zamfara State. Moving to other stories, the Nigerian Senate on Tuesday resolved to investigate allegations of abuse of firearms by some customs officers at various land borders across the country. The resolution followed a motion of urgent national importance by Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yar'Adua, representing Katsina Central, on the alleged killings of innocent citizens by operatives of the Nigerian Customs Service.
The lawmakers, after more than 1 hour extensive and robust debate, condemned the allegations of extrajudicial killings of innocent citizens perceived to be smugglers of rice, especially in border towns of Katsina State, amongst others. Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yar'Adua, who moved the motion, listed incidences where the customs operatives shot and killed several innocent persons in the name of combating rice smuggling.
On 13 July 2023, the Chief of Staff to the Katsina State Governor, Alhaji Jabir Sawi, had a narrow escape from a harrowing assault from Nigerian Customs Service officials. Worried that officers of the Nigerian Customs Service at a location near Gora and Emma Highway shot indiscriminately at the vehicle conveying the Chief of Staff to the Governor with other aides and close family members. He just managed to escape with his life.
The senators in support of the motion highlighted the experiences of their constituents, either in the hands of reckless custom operatives or other security agencies, leading to the setup of a committee to thoroughly investigate the matter and report within 6 weeks.
I believe that whoever is given a bullet, just one bullet, whether it is customs or police or any armed forces or security agencies, must account for that bullet.
If this Senate rises up after our investigation to recommend punishments for these errant officers, if they are found guilty, it will send a signal to other people who carry arms and feel that they can go do anything and get away with it.
It's important for members of the National Assembly, particularly to understand the scope. It is a Madam corridor. I don't know whether there is a direct order by the establishment that whoever carries anything illegal should be shot. But that has been the order of the day, Mr. President.
Mr. President, in my senatorial district, every month, one person must lost his or her life to the Nigerian Customs. Every month, once a month. Once a month. And what is the reasons? The reasons are the bag of rice, they have come to pick some maybe flour or whatever. Sir, that we have border in our senatorial, it's not our making.
The Upper Legislative Chamber also deliberated on other motions on discrimination of employment opportunities based on age by Senator Abba Moro, and a motion on the collapse of road projects in Nigeria, sponsored by all senators except the Senate President, amongst other legislative functions. Unlike the lower legislative chamber, the Senate was silent on the recent petrol price hike and the much-awaited ministerial list of President Bola Tinubu, just as it adjourned plenary till Thursday. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Shop owners and truck drivers in Jalingo, Taraba State are trading words over parking of their trucks in front of business premises. Shop owners are accusing the drivers of blocking their shops from customers. The report.
Shop owners in Jalingo said indiscriminate parking of trucks in front of their business premises is blocking customers and negatively affecting their businesses. The chairman, National Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO, Jalingo Local Government Branch, Abubakar Audu, said lack of parking space is the reason they are parking in front of the shops. He expressed hope that the state governor, Agbu Kefas, will complete construction of trailer park started by the previous administration of Darius Ishaku within the shortest possible time.
The previous governor has tried his best, and when the new government came in, they inspected the parks and made it mandatory for us to be using the car park instead of parking on the road. It really go a long way to cushion the hold-up being faced in the city.
The sector commandant FRSC called on road users to adhere to the guidelines stipulated on using the highway.
No law will permit anybody to sell or hawk along the major streets, major highways. One, the law is against it. Two, it's dangerous to your person. This is a route where trailers pass, cars pass, keke napep pass, tricycles pass. So, hawking at those particular areas you're endangering your life, because there's that possibility that a vehicle can fail brake and ram into people, and you know what it means.
Traders in Guru local government area of Yobe State are asking the federal government to restore the Kano to Nguru train services. The Kano Guru train services has facilitated movement of mostly agricultural commodity and other goods from the commercial city to Nguru town in the northeast. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that the train services has stopped for over a year now.
For over 1 year now, this place, which used to be a hub of loading and uploading goods from Guru in Yobe State to the Nigeria's commercial city of Kano, has now stopped operation. I believe the reason why the train stopped coming is because we don't have people who will put pressure on the authorities. Because coming of the train is a relief to the poor man. Whenever it stops, a lot of businesses also stops. Traders say despite efforts to get the authorities restore the train services was not successful.
Some say that as a result of the operational challenges against that trend, that restrained the train from coming from the Kano to this present town. And the most of our own journey, like we have the lots of the masses over there in this present town. But what they needed now, they needed the assistance of the government to come into their aid as a result of the provision of that train for them now here. But we failed to get. According to residents in Guru town, over the years, the Guru Kano train transportation has remained a major means of transporting goods to Kano for onward distribution to other parts of the country. Unfortunately, most of the facilities here were alleged to have been stolen. Before now, when you enter this place, you will know that it's a train station. But now they have stolen everything. Today they will bring a new station manager. The next thing he will start selling the train parts in our very eyes. High cost of diesel and logistical problems are some of the few but major challenges believed to have been threatening the continued operation of Guru to Kano train services. Although all attempts to speak with the station manager was not successful. However, Chairman of Guru Local Government Madu Kachalla say they are presently in touch with the officials of the Nigeria Railway Corporation to see how the situation could be resolved. We visited the railway officials 3 times to see how they can repair where was said to have been damaged, and they promised to come. We in fact trying to see how to modernize the railway so that it can even pass from here to Gashua down to Damaturu. Meanwhile, from both sides, traders are hopeful that the federal government will intensify efforts to restore its operation for the overall development of the nation's economy. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Yobe.
The Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, Sonio Echono, has said that over 137 students sponsored abroad by the fund absconded. He stated this when he appeared before the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee investigating the alleged mismanagement of 2.3 trillion naira tertiary education tax by TET Fund on Tuesday. Echono said the scholars who were sponsored by TED Fund for Higher Education abroad refused to return to the country after completing their programs. He added that TED Fund is working with stakeholders for stringent and effective measures to be taken against those who refuse to return to the country for Nigerians to benefit from their expertise. The executive secretary said TED Fund might suspend foreign scholarship due to the exchange rate crisis. On the international scene, about 100 protesters hurled rocks at police in Kibera neighborhood of Nairobi on Wednesday morning as 3 days of demonstrations against the cost of living and tax hikes kicked off in Kenya. Protesters burned tires in Kibera and were met with volleys of tear gas by police. Kibera, a stronghold for veteran opposition leader Raila Odinga, who represented the community in parliament from 1993 to 2003, has often been a flashpoint for standoffs with security forces. 2 rounds of protests earlier this month descended into violence when police fired tear gas and, in some cases, live rounds at the crowds. At least 15 people were killed and hundreds were arrested. Kenya's opposition called for the protest in part because of tax hikes passed last month by the government of President William Ruto, who was elected last August, pledging to champion the interests of the poor, but has seen the price of basic commodities balloon under his administration. And finally, in sports, the Athletics Integrity Unit has taken the decision to provisionally suspend Nigerian track and field athlete Toby Amusan for 3 missed whereabouts failures. The suspension was announced after it was discovered that Amusan has missed 3 drug tests within a 12-month period. This charge could result in a 2-year suspension, even if an athlete has never failed a drug test. In a statement on Twitter, the AIU said the charge will be heard by the disciplinary tribunal and determined before the World Athletics Championship. In reaction to the charge, Toby vowed to resolve the charges against her before this year's competition, which will be placed in Budapest next month. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.